In this episode, we're covering the MP7. This fully automatic SMG built quite a reputation in its M.3 incarnation, where its low recoil and high rate of fire made for a potent combination. It returns as the first SMG unlock in Black Ops 2, and while it remains a formidable close-range option, this MP7 lies firmly within its intended niche. The MP7, or Machine and Pistol Sieben, is a German weapon, first introduced in 2001 by Heckler & Koch. Technically a personal defense weapon, or PDW, rather than a traditional SMG, the MP7 fires a smaller, higher velocity cartridge, the 4.6 by 30mm round. This round relies on speed rather than mass for its kinetic energy, and as such offers enhanced performance against body armor and lower recoil than standard pistol calibers. All this in a compact package with ample magazine capacity. The MP7 is an ideal weapon for modern close quarters battle. In-game, the MP7 is a low damage weapon. It requires 3 to 4 shots at close range to kill, and up to 6 outside of the weapon's relatively short range. This means the MP7 is very much specialized for close quarters combat. Keeping the enemy within your 4-hit kill zone should be your priority. In addition, like the rest of the SMGs, the MP7's ability to penetrate cover is poor. For the most part, you will want to land shots directly upon your opponent. The MP7 makes up for these shortcomings with its rate of fire. At approximately 940 rounds per minute, you will outperform most other weapons in this regard. The rapid fire attachment will boost this rate of fire to the incredibly high 1250 rounds per minute. But be warned, this will halve the weapon's effective range, severely limiting your mid-range capability. This innately high rate of fire is paired with a narrow hipfire spread, like all of the SMGs. This means the MP7 is amongst the most effective weapons when fired from the hip. While you may need to land quite a few shots to kill, the MP7's suitability for spraying means the low damage certainly isn't a problem. Nor are any of the MP7's handling characteristics. Universally fast and generally easy to use. Recoil is moderate, largely due to the weapon's high rate of fire. This can make it difficult to land the required 6 shots upon distant targets. You should generally seek to avoid long-range combat. Stay within your effective range and the MP7 will generally stay on target. Aim time is a little slower than typical SMGs in games past. It will take 220 milliseconds to aim down your sights, only slightly faster than an assault rifle. This isn't a problem, however, as with the SMGs you should fire from the hip first and rest your aim onto target as needed. Switch times are average for the SMG class, and your base movement speed will be the fastest possible at 100%. Magazine capacity is 40 rounds, above average for the SMG class, and a boon given the high rate of fire. Extended clip confers a 35% advantage, taking your capacity to 54 rounds between reloads. While not the highest capacity in the SMG class, that accolade goes to the PDW-57. The MP7 also boasts a very fast reload indeed, at just 1.72 seconds. This trait is crucial for a close-range weapon, where every second spent reloading poses a critical risk of ambush. So this speedy reload is a welcome trait. Indeed, our build with the MP7 is all about speed. When you're operating close to the enemy, every millisecond counts, and so we won't make any compromise in this regard. Our loadout will help you get close, get on target, and potentially eliminate entire groups of enemies at a close range. The first of 2 attachments is the laser sight. This is a boon in close-range gunfights, boosting the MP7's hipfire performance drastically. The SMGs have favourable hipfire even without the attachment, so the MP7 and laser combined will prove devastating from the hip for the majority of your effective range. This ability to immediately land accurate shots means you can start to dole out damage before a slower opponent is able, sidestepping the need to aim before you direct your fire. This approach works very well with the SMGs, allowing you to spray whilst on the move and run circles around slower foes. Our second attachment choice, extended clip, comes in useful in a variety of circumstances. While fast mags might seem like a more useful choice for a class built for speed, extended clip will often mean you can skip the reload process altogether. More bullets in your mag will also mean you can comfortably tackle multiple opponents. With 54 rounds at your disposal, 2, 3, even 4 foes in the same place at the same time are within your weapon's grasp. You also benefit from a greater starting supply, useful given the MP7's rate of fire and the wasteful nature of copious hipfire. Our perk selection is a fairly standard set of 3, all geared towards enhancing your mobility. First up, lightweight will confer a 7% movement speed bonus, and will also eliminate any fall damage, useful should you make a habit of taking unorthodox shortcuts. This speed advantage will allow you to better maneuver around opponents, clear exposed sightlines more quickly, and make life generally more difficult for slower, more lumbering opponents. Although passive in its effect, when you employ lightweight correctly, you will find yourself able to get closer and enter fewer gunfights at a range disadvantage. Our second perk is useful in tandem with a secondary weapon, and with your grenades. Fast Hands removes much of the penalty for using such parts of your arsenal, and so is ideal for an aggressive class that can't afford to be caught short near the enemy. With it, you can toss tactical grenades with impunity, and use them to clear rooms effectively. In addition, if you're caught needing a reload, Fast Hands will help to quickly switch to your secondary weapon and keep up the fire on a close-range attacker. Our third perk will enhance your stamina and permit sustained aggressive play along flanking routes, getting you closer to the enemy. Extreme Conditioning will double your available sprint time, making it easier to clear open areas more quickly, and will keep you in the fight wherever you need to be. For our lethal slot, there's no faster option than the Combat Axe, near instant to toss and lethal on impact. Use it when your mag runs dry, or, with a little practice and a dose of luck, to extend your reach and tackle enemies outside of your effective range. For your tactical grenades, we'll be electing 2 of the concussion grenades, a great all-round option for an aggressive class, quick to throw, and will halt an enemy in their tracks. Use them before entering buildings in which you suspect an enemy may lurk, or employ them directly against those who may otherwise have the upper hand. If you're pinned down by a distant enemy, a concussion grenade can buy you enough time to escape. Or, better yet, permit you to advance under cover and get close enough to turn the tables. Use them often to reap the benefits, just be sure you don't stun yourself in the process. Finally, we'll be using a pistol in our secondary slot to serve as a fast swapping backup when your MP7 is otherwise unready. The TAC-45 is a solid choice, packing a potential 2-shot kill at a close range with a rapid switch time to boot. In most cases you'll want to rely on your primary weapon, but the few extra bullets rapidly available on tap can make the difference. That wraps up our build, a fairly well-balanced selection that won't leave you wanting, at a close range at least. You will want to avoid long-range firefights with the SMGs. Rushing headlong into your enemy's sights will not prove terribly effective. Instead, use the extra stamina Extreme Conditioning grants to take the longer, lower traffic routes to your enemy. This will help you to strike your enemy where they least expect it, and increase your odds of winning gunfights. Don't rush headlong into the enemy's spawn, however. With the absence of dexterity, you will need to be careful about sprinting near your opponent. Instead, learn to anticipate engagements when you're close to the enemy, and leave sprinting to times when you need to cover some ground. Be careful when reloading too. With the extended clip attachment, you have the luxury of engaging multiple enemies between reloads. If you successfully dispatch an enemy with an unsuppressed weapon, you will alert and draw in nearby foes, who will be hoping to catch you off guard. Instead, stay alert, keep your gun ready, and give the would-be assailant a swift rebuttal. The MP7 is a weapon with some ideal traits for close-quarter gunfights. It is quick to handle and performs very well from the hip. Its per-shot damage may be relatively low, but this means you're less reliant on a lucky bullet, and instead can benefit from extremely consistent close-range performance. Few weapons can keep up with the MP7, and when paired with a laser sight, you'll be unstoppable. For all its forgiving traits in CQB, the MP7's flaws do start to emerge once you try to tackle enemies at a distance. Compared to the assault rifles and LMGs, the MP7's recoil is substantial, and damage quickly drops off to a very low level. You may be able to pick off enemies in the open at a distance, but when facing prepared enemies in cover, you won't stand a chance. Nevertheless, few other weapons can keep pace with the SMGs in close-range gunfights. So if you seek to amp up your performance, select the MP7. And you'll find this one goes to 11.